Hi, so in this video I will just quickly do a design or two, just showing you how to sort of get started. So I'll just pick the empty one. I will also include a quick overview of one of the templates. So let's start here. And I will just throw some things in. So I think I want a border pane first. That's a good out of one that allows me to create some kind of layout. So if I show you here, the border pane contains areas which are highlighted. So if I drag something into the top, it will take up some area at the top. Maybe I want some kind of a title bar. I can put some navigation bar on the left side and then the main content on the center. I think this is a very common layout. You have probably encountered it elsewhere. Create a simple pane. Where are you? This one, pane. Drop that in. The pane, and then we put a title on it. I want a label. So I can drag that in, and you see I get some alignment here. That's pretty nice. For the title, I want it to be centered, and I should have a center this one, making it easier. And then I put something in. This is my great app. And I really hoped that it will sort of scale in both directions rather than just to the right. Okay, if I make it larger, you can see that the text remains in the center. So that's this part. Okay, I can change the size. Maybe usually it stutters a bit here because there's something wrong. I don't know. Let's make it larger and then I can just drag it up. So when I drag things, and you can see it aligns, it also gets some calculations about where it should be laid out. So these are basically hard-coded and you will find them in the XML file afterwards. Then let's put a V-box on the left side here, insert left, and this can be my menu of some kind. Then I want a button. I have this button here, so I can just drag it onto, I can drag it over here and you'll see it pops in. Or I can drag it down here and I can duplicate it a couple of times. Maybe I can press Ctrl D, yeah. Imagine that I can click different buttons and then some content would be shown over here. So to show stuff, I will just put maybe I'll do a grid pane. This is a way to organize things into a grid, and you can see it fills out like this. So I have 2 columns and 3 rows, and I can add row. Let's say this is some kind of form that I want to insert multiple things in. So now I can lay out things here. And I will put some labels in. So on. And then I want some please choose. Okay. And then I want some text fields. So let me give a text field and put it over here. That automatically expands, so that's nice at least. Maybe that's part of the grid pane. And then let's make a checkbox. I will actually do one more. Label. Let's see how that went. That was too long, so we get the ellipsis. And then let's pick is it called a combo box? This is a drop down kind of thing. See, there's a little arrow. I want options in here, obviously. I usually do that from the code. I was just wondering if I could hard code it. I don't know. Maybe I will Google that someday and be slightly smarter after that. But for now, I'll just leave it as it is. And then you can set this up in code, add the different options that you want. So that's my app. Slightly faster than if I had to manually set this up through code. Let's just preview it. Yeah, I can click some buttons. Nothing happens, obviously. Checking. Hello there. Drop down. Not much to select. This is pretty amazing already. There's a title, untitled. I would expect that I can set that somewhere. I don't know. Also something to Google for later. Okay, if I save this, let me just show you what the result is. I put this wherever. And let me just open that to show you all the information that's actually included in this. There we go. Let me zoom. So you can see there's a lot of information about all the constraints and stuff that we set. Height minus infinity, I'm not sure. There's a preferred height, so that's what the pane will show up as when I open it. Height and width. We have, so here's a pane, so that's the top pane of my border pane, and the pane has children, that's the label. And we can see there's a change in the font size, and it's centered, and there's some layout where it's supposed to be fixed. Height and width, the actual text of the label. Right, that's my label here. So all the information we find out here that are modified and not default, they will show up in here. The V-box with all the buttons, we can see they have sizes and positions as well. What's in the center, so that's my grid pane. We can see there's the grid pane in the center, aligned to center. Sometimes it can grow. I don't know, let's see. Does it grow? Yeah, okay, so it stretches a little bit. So there's some kind of responsiveness to some extent. See, it would have been nice to have a scroll pane, then I can scroll out if the content doesn't fit. You can find a scroll pane here. Let me just try. Grid pane, wrap in, scroll pane. I've had some, funky issues with the scroll pane, because now the grid pane can no longer stretch to fit, right? Because then it would stretch infinitely. Right, that was really supposed to create a scroll bar, but I don't remember exactly how that works. You will have to look up examples for that. Doesn't matter for this video. Right, so you get all this fxml file, and then when you want to actually run your code, you use this class that will look through the file and set up all of these things for you and basically create this view. And then you have defined the controller that is the behavior for the view. I just want to show you also, close window, that was, just to show you that the templates, you can look at these yourself. But right here, the split, if I remember, it actually works. Oh, I pressed the preview button, right, again, to get an open window, and we can see the menu items, and there's we can drag these even more. That's nice. And we can see the menu bar. So the file menu, right? File menu, it has menu items below and another menu and so on. So that's how that's set up. The split pane, maybe it's because I didn't have panes inside. All the panes, so much pane. That's why it wasn't working for me. So enough fiddling around. You have seen a quick example and should be able to somehow try this out yourself now.